kind of a gangster.
Guys,
He's doing a
here we
gangster.
are. Okay, Val, we're on. Hey guys, I'm gonna pull up my chat so we can say hi to everybody. First off, oh my God, what a freaking crazy week. Oh my God, people. Oh my God, I just don't even know how to start. It has, it's like things are happening so fast. I've been trying to listen to every news conference and everything, and I can't keep up with it. And then trying to keep up with the climate science and all that is just,
Oh,
I don't even know how to do that. But we're going to do some crowdsourcing tonight, see what y'all are seeing because things, I mean, last week we found out that Germany was going to do the herd immunity thing. I was like, whoa, whoa, no, wait. And that actually happened. There was actually a, a a news conference saying they were going to do that. But hello, Bio, TRC Galaxy, Anthony Davis, Ecos for Not. Bio, did I say Bio already? CB,
yes.
buddy, hi. And okay, that's all right, you guys. Oh my God.
Put
First
on your
thoughts.
seatbelts. Put
Put
on your
on your
seatbelts.
seatbelts. Get ready for a freaking crazy ride. I mean, we
Yeah.
have the elections to talk about, which is much fuckery. We have the I'm already losing my monetization, but that's okay. Um doesn't matter. They take so much of it. Doesn't You're not getting anything anyway. Um
Yeah. Google.
but you do actually get more views. Apparently, you get more notifications if you do that, I guess. And then I get the ability to do those messages when I find out information. I'm like, you guys need to know this. So I message people or tell jokes or whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, Gazar's here. Malcolm Marzo is
Yeah. I need
here.
a joke right now.
Thinking about difficult time, history is therapeutic. During World War II, 25,000 people were getting killed. Yeah, I know. It's the thing is, this is so weird because there's no way this virus is going to kill enough people to really reduce our population. It's still growing 250,000 a day. So it's really not the issue at the same time where it's stopping airlines from flying, and many other industries is slowing down. But then there's other industries that are speeding up. I really want to know what y'all's opinion is on, is this going to be a plus for the environment or a negative? And is this going to speed up things or slow it down? I
Okay.
mean,
Can I go first? Can I go first?
okay, so
For the
keep it
environment,
short and let everyone else talk.
okay, I will.
I
For
know.
the environment, it's definitely a plus. However, one thing you keep in mind about it's not just the virus that's going to kill people. There's secondary effects, suicide, people starving. There's that's going to take a lot of people, not just the
Hospitals
virus.
being overwhelmed
The
and not
hospitals
being
being
able
overwhelmed.
to
So
handle all the
definitely a plus
cases.
for the environment. It's going to. That's what it's here for. It's to depopulate. I'm done.
Okay, Oz,
Well, I think it's more of a wake-up call, don't you? I mean,
I
how
think
we're
so.
dealing
It's
with
just a
it and
start.
the criticisms of each municipality, when I mean state, how the governors are reacting. I heard kudos for Cuomo in New York, like he's been on top of it. And, from a Washington state standpoint, I think Inslee's been doing okay, but he's been a little bit slow as far as rolling out a plan. But that's the way it goes. Each state, and Gavin Newsom, same thing. I guess he's talking about what do we do with the homeless people now, and you know, putting them up in these empty hotels and empty schools is probably a good idea because that will lock that portion of it down. But just that's just my overview.
Yeah, finally they're deciding to do something about the homeless population that's been a problem for a long time. It's like suddenly they can find space for them. That's something that hit me today when they were talking about it in all those news conferences from Washington. That's been a problem for a very long time. They couldn't do anything. They couldn't house those people, but suddenly they're finding places to put them. Um, Kind of ridiculous in my view that they couldn't do anything to keep them warm at night. There. Ah. Oh my God. What do you do with that information? Okay, Whitney, your turn. Sorry. I don't want
No, it's fine. So a plus for the environment. I just saw like there was fish showing up already in like the Italian canals, I think in Venice. I don't know, maybe other places, but so the environment is starting to like rebound a little bit, but humanity is a different story. It's very dark times, I have to argue. Even,
It definitely is dark times for the humanity. Yeah, it is.
this is crazy.
It's
Period.
hard. It makes your heart race and everything. Okay,
Yeah.
Jim. I know Jim has very limited time, so I want to give him the majority of the time that he has to spend with us. So, Jim, you have a huge window to talk right now.
Well, you look at what's going on in China and South Korea. It's already bent. The curve's already bending because they were very aggressive. They got on top of it. They were building hospitals so that people can be taken care of. So, in a lot of ways, while there's still a lot of sick folks there in China and South Korea, it seems like the worst has passed by. Now, when you compare to what's going on here in the U.S., and for that matter, like, why did Italy? Well, let's look at why does Italy hit so hard? It's part of his culture
A lot of
because
the culture, yeah.
Italians they're very gregarious. They gather in large grouping. They have family gatherings. So
They
it's
live
more
in
readily,
multi-family
yeah,
households.
it's
Yeah.
more readily spread. They smoke a lot, so that puts them at higher risk, and they're also older. And this stuff is hitting older. I was just looking at a stat where every single fatality in Italy has been someone over the age of 60. So then when you compare that to the US with the woefully lame, I'm being kind, response by the Trump administration, basically let this shit get out of hand. And letting those folks allowed back in on that flight and the cruise ship, I mean, that's just introduced many vectors into this country. And also, what's Trump? Trump tried to bribe a German company to get the test kit and all this other stuff, as well as some possible treatment, because he didn't want to cut into the profits of the pharmaceutical companies in the U.S. from making money at our expense, which is bullshit. I mean, it's like, this is not the time. So basically, what we're seeing is we're seeing capitalism being exposed for the shit system that it is.
Yes.
That's what we're seeing, and
Exactly.
letting this crap get out of hand. And if they responded quickly, you can tamp this down very quickly. You really can. But they're not. They're just kind of, to quote George Carlin, that's what they're doing. They're sitting there jerking off.
They want to save capitalism
Yeah.
over.
We and look at the crap bill. They just injected 1.5, actually almost like $2 trillion, which is the cost of the Iraq war, to save the stock market. But we don't have Medicare for all. How are you going to pay for that? Give me a fucking break.
I know. And then when they ask
cut
how
the
you're going to pay
bullshit.
for that, they're saying, "Oh, we just kind of basically, it's in digital form. You just send them the money on the computer." But
Yeah, they sent in the money, and the stock market still crashed. And the money was just pissed away in a moment. And so when they say, "How are you going to pay for Medicare for all?" Cut the crap.
Yeah.
It's just you don't have no political will, is what it is. So this
yeah,
whole
I know.
thing
It is. It's a shit show.
is just, there's no need for it to have gotten out of control the way it has. It just hasn't. But this is showing the greed of the corporatists, and it's showing how much the politicians are the whores of the corporations. I'm just using blunt language here. It's despicable. You look at what a Norway issue, basically telling their students who are in the U.S., get your asses home.
Yeah.
You know?
I saw that.
I know.
I mean, it's just like, it's going to be worse in the U.S. because of how crappy the response is. Yes, you look at what some of the European countries are doing, and they're cramping down, and rightly so,
Mhm.
to minimize the spread. we're doing it in U.S. state by state. New York has basically clamped down. I think Washington State has, but let's still continue with people getting in line to vote. What?
Yeah.
What?
Oh, I
What
think
the hell is
Alice
this
has
crap?
something to say
What the
about
hell is this crap? Cancel the election or just have everyone do a mail-in ballot. What the hell?
Mhm.
Right? I mean, this is nonsense. Well, just so they can anoint Joe Biden? Give me a freaking
Yeah,
break.
I mean our election system is a fraud anyway. It's a false. I mean, you don't get a vote. I mean, they're picking the person, they're anointing a person anyway. So yeah, I am on the fence on that one.
Let me share some. This is from, if folks want to go to, you can go to livescience.com /is dash coronavirus dash deadly.html. But basically, you can pull up this article on the coronavirus, how deadly it is. And it's called the SARS-CoV-2, which is then the COVID-19. So what the article is saying is that the scientists are not sure exactly what the fatality rate is because they're not certain how many people have become infected. There is some estimates. So let's see. So they looked at a Chinese analysis of more than 72,000 case records. 2.3% were confirmed or suspected, based on symptoms and exposure, to have the virus died. Patients above 80 years of age had an alarmingly high fatality rate of almost 15%. Patients ages 70 to 79, fatality rate of 8%. In Italy, where the death toll from the virus stood at 52 as of March 4, the fatalities were in people all over age 60. But these numbers shouldn't be taken as an inevitable toll of the virus, however. The case fatality rate is determined by dividing the number of deaths by the total number of cases. Epidemiologists believe the total number of infections with SARS-CoV-2 is underestimated because people with few or mild symptoms may never see a doctor. As testing expands and scientists begin using retrospective methods to study who has the antibodies to SARS-CoV-2 circulating in the bloodstream, the total number of confirmed cases will go up and the ratio of deaths to infections will likely drop.
Right.
That's an interesting point.
That's why South
Now,
Korea has such a low death rate, case fatality rate. South
yeah,
Korea has such a low case fatality rate because they are doing incredible testing, which apparently the United States, supposedly the greatest country in the world, cannot match that rate of testing and keep the fatality rate low. But that makes me conflicted because I think we need to lower our population. I wanted to do it by really humanitarian means, educating
Yeah.
women, and just just really civil means. But now it's up to nature, and or we're gonna get into the conspiracy theories here. Not conspiracy, hypothesis. Let's stop calling them conspiracy theories and let's start talking hypothesis,
Good idea.
because we've been lied to by our government so much that we have nothing else to go to but to hypothesize and brainstorm and figure out what the hell these overlords have planned for us. So I am not a crazy conspiracy theorist. I do believe in looking at the facts and trying to come up with a hypothesis of what is happening because we are being lied to on a daily basis. So that's
I
another
mean,
story altogether.
what I'll do is I'll put the link to this article into the chat box. So it's a lengthy article, so I won't go through all of it. Folks can check it out. But some interesting stats here. There was a study published on March 13 in the journal Emerging Infectious Diseases, and they talk about adjusting for time delay between hospitalization and death. The authors estimated as of February 11, the death rate from COVID-19 was as high as 12% in Wuhan, 4% in Hubei province, and 0.9% in the rest of China.
Mhm. That's because they
The-
figured out how to deal with it by then
And
and
they dealt
isolated it.
with it aggressively.
Yeah.
Now,
They're not going to deal with it that aggressively in the US.
That's right. And that brings me to this statement right here. Fewer people are likely to die if the medical system is prepared to face an influx of coronavirus patients.
Do you think we're prepared here?
Fuck
No.
no.
Yeah.
I'm just saying
Oh.
that because I'm in Utah, and I think it was something like, the last I heard was 11,000 tests have been done in the U.S. They're doing way more than that daily in South Korea and have been for quite some time. All the tests are going to New York, and the West Coast, and some in Florida. Hardly any in Utah, but we still have, I think we have 30 something cases. Um, I just, okay. I called in sick today. I have all the symptoms, um, that they tell you to watch for. Shortness of breath. I woke up in the middle of the night. I couldn't hardly breathe. I had to focus on my breathing like almost all night, just breathing. And it's probably my anxiety. So I'm pretty sure I don't have it, but I'm just saying that I had that symptom, and then I had I woke up with a cough and a sore throat. You can kind of probably hear the raspiness in my
Yeah.
voice, and and I've had a fever, but I've had my fever since 2 weeks before Christmas. So I've had a fever for a very long time. And I called into work. My work said they wanted me to call my primary caregiver and see if I could get the COVID test. And I told them, like, I doubt we can get it. They're not really available here because I've been, watching it closely. It's like I don't have any direct contact with someone who has been diagnosed or a confirmed case, and I haven't been overseas. So the chances of me getting a test is almost zero. And I told them that before I called my doctor, and sure enough, sure as shit, I called my doctor, and they're like, no, you can't get a test. Um, you can get a test for anything else, you just can't get a test for that. And so I said, okay, so what should I tell my work? When can I go back to work? And they said, well, our recommendation is when you can go 24 hours without a fever, then you can go back to work. Well, I have had a fever since 2 weeks before Christmas. The likelihood of me of getting rid of my fever anytime soon is pretty damn low because I haven't even been able to get into the hospital to finish my testing after being tested for scleroderma, positive for scleroderma, uh, an what do you call it? Fucking autoimmune disease. For I can't get all the information on even how bad that is, which also attacks your lungs. Um, I don't know what it is, so um, I don't know. It's like I can't get tested.
But you're doing the show. You're doing the show, so you're not sick. You're doing the show. You told me you had a busy weekend. There you go.
I'm sick. No, I am sick. Sorry, that was really random. But I can't breathe. Can you not hear that I can't hardly
Yeah,
push words
Well,
out?
I don't think you're sick. You got enough energy to do this show.
Well, I'll do the show no matter what. I mean,
True.
I'm at home.
True.
I
You're,
don't have to
you're the
go
most
anywhere.
determined person I know.
I'm just saying I would have if this was not happening, and I didn't hear every day on my local news station that I need to go. You don't go to work if you're sick. If you have any symptoms, you don't go to work. I would have went to work with a cough.
Right.
I would have went to work half fucking dead. That's who I was. I would go to work half dead. And then I realized, we're living in a time where
Yeah.
you don't know how much time you have left. Do I want to spend what little time I have left at work?
No.
I have all
Well,
this gardening to do and stuff. I have so
And
much
you got
shit.
well,
people.
this is an example of why, how deplorable it is that the U.S. is the only industrialized nation without mandatory paid sick time for employees. Excuse me, and so that. And also without a Medicare for all or some type of universal healthcare system, that people are afraid not to go to work because they need the income, and they're too sick, and they may
Yeah,
be too sick to go, or they can't take a sick day, or they can't afford to go see a doctor.
I know.
This is this is the perfect storm of illustrating how fucked up capitalism is, how fucked up the so-called medical system in the U.S. is. It just is. It's an indictment, and it's
It
despicable
absolutely is. And I'm
that
lucky.
it's been
I
allowed
have
to
sick
go on
pay.
for 4 or 5 decades.
Okay, we need to read some comments before we move on to the next but you are absolutely right, Jim. Jim, you get to choose the comments you want to read. I know you have to go really soon. You have something going on, but um I just want to bring in the people into the conversation. So no one wants to read comments?
Well, I'll
I,
say this
I like
before we read comments. You're strong as a horse, so you're gonna beat
I
whatever
am
happens.
strong as a horse.
Yeah,
It's
you
just
are,
I would be working right now.
and,
I would be
and you
working.
and
yeah,
But
you
you are, but you just contaminated your elbow pit when you coughed into it.
do.
Vegematic,
Shit. Damn it, don't stop. No, don't mention coughing. I'll start coughing. Oh my God. Can you hear my
Vegematic.
voice? This is from coughing.
Have a cup.
I had a cough all morning and it's made me a little hoarse. Oh, Pat the Batman fan is
There you go.
here. And he's all protected from
He's ready.
us contaminants.
Hello.
Hi, Pat. How are you doing?
Well, I'm just walking home from the pharmacy where they informed me that the insurance company doesn't cover the insulin that I was able to get just 3 months ago
Oh my
Oh,
God.
what?
$25. Now, if I want to buy it, it's almost $700.
Oh
So
my
they had to call my doctor today. They didn't bother to call me and tell me any of this, obviously, because
Oh my God. Because okay, let me guess. They're making up for their lack of profits for making the COVID vac or test free. They're making up for by charging more for everything else. Is that what they're doing?
with the insurance company, who knows? They've abruptly stopped. They've had me switch insulins so many times, and they do it at random without informing me. So I go to we stopped by the pharmacy last night just to make sure the prescription was in, and they said, "Oh yeah, I'll be ready today." So I just went to the Target here by my house, and oh yeah, it's going to be $700. Sorry.
Oh my God.
So what? I mean, I have some left. So
Are you
it's
guys
not an
hearing this
emergency.
in the chat?
Yep.
Oh my fucking God.
It's happened to me like 4 or 5 times. They just suddenly decide they don't want to cover whatever insulin I'm on at the moment.
Oh my God, Pat, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
God, what the
And
fuck?
then this, I pay like $1,200 a month in insurance for this kind of shit.
So are you in a third world country, Pat?
Yeah, we are in a third world country.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, I am so
Can you travel to
disgusted.
Mexico?
Don't you
Well, that's
guys
right.
feel
We
like
can't
the
travel
United
to
States is
Mexico
trending
because
away?
they
Or
clamp the borders
Canada.
down.
Or
Whoops.
Canada. Let's go to Canada.
Actually,
Get
Canada has just closed its borders.
Hang on, guys. I don't know what happened.
Okay, Vegematic, thank you so much for your donation to the cause. It's not as good as a pack of toilet paper, but
Yeah.
Here in Alaska, there's only been one
Oh.
case of coronavirus, and it was someone who came in on a cargo ship or whatever, or cargo plane. You can't find toilet paper in any of the stores here in town.
That's crazy. You can't find it. I'm in Grantsville, Utah, tiny little town. Nobody can find toilet paper. Thank God my husband always keeps a tower of it in the bathroom, like literally a tower of toilet paper in the bathroom. I've made fun of it forever, but I'm like, okay, I guess I don't, that's fine. Good for you. Thank God for that. Oh my God. Yeah, this is insane.
What Pat describes is the reason why a lot of people went to or go to Mexico to get the insulin.
Or Canada.
Oh, yeah.
They
Or
go to
Canada, yeah.
Yeah.
Or Canada, but now the borders have been closed. Canada's
Right.
closed down all the borders to even Americans.
Yeah.
Trudeau announced that earlier today.
Oh, did he? I didn't hear that. God,
Yeah.
It's hard to keep
And
up
so
with
here
all
we
those.
are in Alaska. Where does Alaska border? Yukon territory.
Oh my God.
Wow.
So we're stuck here in Alaska.
Hang on,
Okay,
sorry.
Moose Gal just put a link up. I'm not sure what it's for. Moose Gal, put it in the comments later so I can look at it later because I can't. It's hard for me to look at links. But anyone else, just check out
Oh,
her link. I'm sure it's something important. I
I
hope
had
you're
meant
doing
to.
okay,
I had
Moose
meant to
Gal.
show you guys on my street here. I don't know if I'll backtrack a little bit, but there's like tent cities going up right on my street here now in North Hollywood.
Aw,
Ah, fuck
thanks,
that! I'm
Gal.
not walking all the way back there. Next week maybe I'll show you. But
Yeah.
there's people in trailers and stuff parked right along my our main thoroughfare here now.
Oh wow.
Sad.
What are they gonna do? I mean, we are such a hotbed, like a petri dish for everything that's going on. We really are. And part of me is
Yeah.
like we need to reduce our population, but the other half of me is like, God, but they're real people, like you and me. And I I God, is this too hard? But thanks, Val. Thank you. You're so sweet. Um, okay, we really need to read some comments. And Pat, you're walking, so if you want to talk more, go ahead, because you're
Uh,
walking.
yeah, I want to get inside right now. Is what I
I
want to
don't
do.
know. I mean, toilet.
Hold
Can you find toilet paper?
I did find a novelty roll with a bunch of sexual positions printed
Oh
all
my
over it.
God. I remember getting a
I mean, didn't have
novelty
Trump's face on it?
when
Yeah,
Obama
yeah.
was president. I had
I wish.
someone gave me Obama toilet paper, like with
Yeah.
Obama on it. It's like, you fucking guys, this
Oh,
is
that zesty
politics.
right
This
wing
is
humor. Yeah,
politics.
exactly.
Uh,
It's really funny stuff.
I knew about Europe,
Oh,
but not the U.S. Yeah. I thought, oh, Veg, I wish you'd come on next week. Next week, Veg just said he would come on, so let's hold him
yeah,
to it.
Veg.
Put lots
What the
of
hell, Veg?
pressure on Veg to come on next week.
Well, you need to get Pink Barrio on too.
Who?
Pink Barrio.
Oh, I want Pink on so bad. Let's get Bernie in office. Good luck. They're cheating the shit out of Bernie. Have you guys?
Yeah,
Oh my God. And
that's a last cause.
it is totally a lost cause. There's way too much fuckery going on. I'm sorry. There's a lot of fuckery going on. I I knew what was going to happen and I set myself up for a failure. What do they say? Fool me once, shame on me, fool me twice. Wait, no, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. And that's exactly what happened. I started to get back into it, even though I swore up and down I was not going to be that. I wasn't going to be a part of that. And what the hell? They did it again. They're so
I think
off
I
of
heard
the.
Jim. I think I heard Jim quoting George Carlin earlier there. Another quote that I always keep in mind is, "They do not give a fuck about you." These the politicians,
Well,
the
certainly
elite,
not the DNC and Bernie. I
they
wish he
do
would
not.
stand up. How many people raise your hand? Put a little hand symbol up there if you think that Bernie Sanders should stand up to this election fraud. I think he should stand up to it, point it out, and fucking say something. AOC was defending the fucking election fraud. That hurts my feelings just a little bit. So I'm sorry. I'm a little pissed off. I am waiting for AOC to fucking say Biden should be the
She
candidate.
stopped the campaigning and stumping for Bernie.
I know. What happened? Okay, it's all fucked up.
She's young and naive. She got sucked into the system.
Oh my God. Well, she needs to stop it. Stop it. Stop it. She
got
needs
the
to
phone call.
stop it. Yeah, she got the phone call from the bigwigs. And now
Yeah, right.
suddenly she's protecting election fraud. It's not election fraud. No, shutting down polling places is no big deal. It's really just the black people that are affected by that thing that they do. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I've had a fever.
Again, George Carlin, he had it pretty dialed in, man.
It's a big club and you ain't in it.
He said, short of a real life revolution in this country, nothing is going to change. It's just they're going to figure out ways to dice things up more finely among themselves. They don't care about you, and they'll I mean, they lie. I mean, Biden just threatened to beat the shit out of a guy, or told him he was full of shit, and asked him if he wanted to go whatever. Like, how is that not front page news on? You know what I mean? It's just willful deceit.
Okay, my heart is broken right now because Pink Barrio seems to be promoting Joe. So if Bernie suspended his campaign and started heartily campaigning for Joe, he'd be remembered. He'd be remembered as a fucking asshole. He would be
It doesn't matter.
hated.
None of this matters. This is all window dressing.
I know. What I said before was
Fix it
the
in.
election is a moot point at this state.
Was it
this
someone
time.
said that? Was
Oh,
it
I love you,
was it
Pink.
Mark-
Don't
was
hurt
it
my
Mark-
feelers like that. Don't do that. No.
was it Mark Twain? He said if voting actually mattered, they wouldn't let
They'd
you
never
vote.
let you do it. Yep.
Right. Yes. And that's kind
Or
of
to continue with the George Carlin thing, is like they give you the
I know.
illusion you live in a
Yes.
I'm
democracy.
sick of
Free-
it
But
too,
you
Pink.
don't.
Of choice.
Okay,
It's a
really.
big club and you ain't in it.
It's a
Right.
big club, and you ain't in it.
But
You
Pink,
and I
I
are not
agree.
in
I'm
this
sick
club.
of it. But fucking Joe Biden and the cheating and the election fraud and
Just,
the
it
corporate.
doesn't matter, Chris.
I
It
know
doesn't
it doesn't
matter.
matter. I want to just be over it. I just don't. I was out of it for so long, and then I got sucked back into it because that dream synced back into my head of what he stood for, and then suddenly it's just exploded. It's done.
They call it
It's
the
over.
American dream because you got to be asleep to believe it.
I love-
More George Carlin.
That's
I'm telling you,
awesome.
man.
Okay,
That
so
guy-
in 2016, I thought Bernie might be a sheepdog. Now I'm really wondering. Yeah, I mean, right now I'm kind of yeah.
I don't.
He's
Nah,
already.
I don't think he's. I think he really. I just don't think he's not prepared to, for whatever reason, go the full distance. You know, go to the mat. And that's.
But you know, Biden is going to lose to Trump. It's just that's
Yeah.
going to happen. I mean,
Yeah.
if Biden's the nominee, Trump wins. Period. End of story. There's no
100%.
way Biden can sit there and handle a debate with Trump. I mean, Trump will
He's
wipe
just
the
gonna
floor with him,
hammer
even
on
though he's dumber than a
Hunter.
box of rocks. Trump. Biden
He
lies.
knows what buttons. He knows what buttons to push.
Yes,
And he's going to
exactly
push the
it.
corruption, the Hunter Biden stuff. And
He killed the
he
rest of the
fights dirty.
Republicans, all the regular, everyday Republicans. Trump wiped the floor with them.
You know
all
what,
of them.
Chris?
Okay,
Your
guys,
point.
I gotta go. Okay.
I'll be
See
right.
you.
Okay.
Oh, sorry,
Thanks.
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, see
Bye,
you.
Jim,
Take
have
care,
a
buddy.
good night.
Hey,
I'll
Chris.
be right back.
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
last night was the prime example of how badly Biden's going to get his ass kicked, because Bernie was a class act in going with Biden last night, and Ved said he's too damn nice, and he is. He's got
He is
class.
too damn nice.
He's a statesman, but Biden lied on
He
like
did.
5 or 6 big points, and
Yes.
Trump's going to just say, "Hey, Joe, quit lying, man."
Oh, Trump will point it out big time, and he'll tweet it out.
They'll break it off in his damn eye, and Biden might, either his eyes will start bleeding out or he'll have a heart attack right there on the stage.
Yeah.
I mean, that's it.
If it doesn't happen on the debate stage, it'll happen in the Twitter sphere. Trump will point out his lies, and he'll nail him on it over and over and over again. I'm sorry, Biden will not win against Trump. It's
You
not
are
going to
100%
happen.
correct. You
Yep.
are 100% correct.
And what is everybody going to say?
Yeah,
to
fuck the DNC. There you go, Pink.
Yeah,
I'm
what is-
with you. Fuck the DNC.
what are all the Bernie people going to say to Bernie when he asks them to support Joe Biden? And this isn't
They
2016.
want Trump. If they're
They're going to
supporting,
tell him to go.
or they might slip in another person. There's some of that conspiracy going on. Oh my God, so many. Okay, hypothesis. Not. We're gonna stop using conspiracy theory. It has to be a hypothesis, because look at how many things that have proven to be just true that were so crazy. Everyone called it a conspiracy theory. There's so many things that have happened, like the chemical attacks on Syria.
Fake.
Yeah. all
Gulf of
those-
Tonkin.
The what?
Gulf of Tonkin.
There
Yeah,
you go.
I mean, so
Started the
many
Vietnam War.
things. What about the what is it? The Iraq's bombs of weapons of mass destruction.
Yeah,
So
WMD.
we've been fooled so many times. So I'm sorry if I don't
Wow.
blame the government.
Which Biden is on tape saying, we know now he had weapons of mass destruction. We've seen the evidence, blah, 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 blah.
And
So,
that wasn't true.
yeah.
They lied to us so many times. We have nothing else to do but make up our own hypothesis from what we have in front of us, which isn't much. We don't have the intelligence they do. All we have is what we're being told, people on the ground that we can see live streaming from or whatever, interviews, all that. That's all we have in independent media and people who are actually willing to tell the truth. That's what we have
There are literally like less than 10 people that you can listen to them and know that they're being 100% honest. Like Glenn Greenwald, Aaron Matei,
Max Blumenthal.
Max Blumenthal, thank you. He's great.
Amanda Martin.
But I'm not familiar with her, but I'll
Abby Martin.
Abby Martin. Yeah.
Isn't her name Amanda?
Abby Martin. No, it's Abby.
Oh, Abby, sorry.
Yeah.
I got my bad. Anyway, her. Yeah. She the cute one.
Yeah. And surprise, surprise, none of them are in the pot, none of them are working for
and they're not putting them on CNN.
MSNBC or
Naomi Klein, shock doctrine. Looks what's happening around us. Yeah.
Right.
It's watch Hillary step in. There's been a theory that Hillary might, because they'll say that, I don't know.
That'd be great. You might get your revolution then.
Yeah, right. Well, if things go financially really, really south with this COVID thing, I mean, people might finally start getting
or Trump might cancel all the elections and we'll just have Trump.
Well, I mean, but people might, if people aren't making money and aren't able to pay their rent and are getting kicked out of their houses, and
that could be
that is a perfect breeding ground for an uprising.
Yeah, we are in totally new territory.
They're going to step down on that hard. They will. They will come down like grease. I mean,
they would. They probably would. But I mean, it's hard to say. It
is. Oh, we forgot to mention Graham Elwood. Graham Elwood is good. I got to get back in touch with him. I'm supposed to do. I have several interviews to catch up with.
Graham's good,
and I might be able to catch up now that I'm on.
Yeah,
Graham's good, but he still buys into like the Green New Deal and stuff like that.
Yes,
I love Graham.
That's what hurts me is the Green New Deal thing.
I love Graham. I'm absolutely would never say a bad word about him, but I'm just like, come on, buddy.
Quit stumping for the Green New Deal. Realize it's not.
Hey, Whitney, what do you think about all this talk about UBI right now about giving every citizen $1,000? Do you think that's going to happen?
It should, in my opinion, but I'm not sure. I mean, it's up in the air. I know Mitt Romney came out and supported that policy.
They're going to have to do something because everybody is not working and their bills are due. They're going to have to give them something. Otherwise, hell is going to be coming, and it's going to be riding a pale horse.
But just because it's coming from Mitt Romney, Trump.
Well, Tulsi Gabbard's the one that was.
I know Romney stole it from Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah.
Who stole it from Andrew Yang? But if Romney comes up with it, there's huge hate between Trump and Romney. Trump might veto it just because it came from Romney.
Well, you have to think these people in the media and the people in power want to keep the status quo, but
they do. If it's buried in that bill, he'll sign it just to look good because Trump just wants to look good. And
I don't know if he will, or what will happen with that. It's
you can't trust politicians to do things honestly under normal circumstances.
They're giving all the money to the pigs.
I know.
I got breaking news for you.
Okay.
Oh, breaking news.
Breaking news. It's pretty breaking news. Spain just nationalized all its hospitals and healthcare providers.
Yep.
Oh wow.
That's a big deal, and that's huge. And I am so glad they did that. It's shocking to see other countries able to actually do something other than pump money into the stock market. Isn't that?
Oh yeah, to bankers. Oh my God, that meeting with Trump and the bankers. I don't know if y'all watched that. I don't know, that briefing. That was insane. Where the bankers and Trump are all getting together, and he's like, "Well, what do you guys think we need to do?" And they're like, "Loans, loans. We need to give small business loans." So they're giving him low interest loans.
Yeah.
Low
That-
interest loans. Yay. So you owe money at the end of this tragedy? Thank you. You're awesome. Thanks a
People on the
lot.
ground are already suffering. I mean, the runs on the grocery stores are
Yeah.
affecting
Yeah.
the working and lower classes.
Yeah.
Um,
The price gouging. And
yeah, it's
They have
Oh, yeah.
already closed schools down. They're closed down. They've already given out orders to close bars and restaurants.
mhm.
This thing is getting extreme fast.
I'm gonna argue. I mean, I don't know. This is. I mean, okay. So they talk about recession, but this is like a global depression
Yeah.
thingy.
Yeah,
Like
it
this
is.
is. I mean, yeah, it's
Bad.
happening now, but what are the consequences? Like a year, 2 years, 3 years? You know.
They're saying that this virus outbreak could last a
look
year.
at it.
That the peak
Yeah.
could be in July and August. So by then, the total economy will be totally collapsed.
I know. And then, okay, guys, I thought the apocalypse, if it is the apocalypse, we had a few more years. Come on.
We
I thought
did.
so too, but
Yeah.
This is
here
like
it is. Here it is.
no one expected. Well, for the last few months, I've kind of like been telling people prep a little bit at a time. Don't panic. Just start buying a little bit extra every time you go to the store. I've been telling people this for months, and I've been doing it
Yeah.
myself. You needed to prep. You needed to do something and not panic at the last minute. And I just want you guys to be safe because, and it's
I
not,
know.
it's just a temporary measure anyway, because who knows what's going to happen with global dimming? This is a big test. What's going to happen? Guy McPherson says 30% of
Economic drop.
fossil fuels or whatever dropping is going to cause massive global dimming reduction, and it's going to cause heating really fast.
And Arctic
So
News, or
we
not
don't
Arctic,
know what's going to
yeah.
happen. This is the
Arctic
test.
News has already said we already hit two degrees C.
2 degrees C, which is
So we're already
devastating.
there.
And then there's the Antarctica and the Doomsday Glacier that's melting really fast, 6 times faster than expected. Um, what else? I mean, wait till summer comes. I mean, well, it is summer there, so the Antarctica is the place to watch right now because it's summer there. Wait, it's going into winter, so maybe.
I know, it's so confusing.
I know, their
I-
winter. Yeah, they
It's
were in
winter
summer.
here, summer, but now
Got
we're
twisted.
switching.
I know. So we're coming into summer, so I guess we got to go back up to the Arctic and watch that. But
Yes.
hopefully that refreezes. If it doesn't refreeze, then we're screwed.
I got some good news though. I got some good news. We're all going to have plenty of time to catch all the Netflix series and binge watch TV shows
I know.
Great.
from here on out.
I know.
You'll catch
They
all
have
your.
to do that. They
Did you
have
hear
to keep
about
everybody occupied.
the porn thing in Italy? Like there's this
Yes.
Pornhub or whatever. I think it's called
Right.
Pornhub or something. They're giving free porn to all the people in Italy during
How nice. Can only help.
Oh my god, I think that's so funny. I'm sorry. That was just funny. Okay, read some comments. We haven't been engaging in our audience enough. And Book Hermit's here.
I can't read them. I'm sorry.
Okay,
So.
well, everyone who can read them, find one. Hi, Martyr. I didn't say hi to you, Martyr Jerome.
Anthony
Ken
Dennis says
Keel.
Paul Beckwith is really getting with the COVID-19.
Yes, he
Yeah.
is. I know. I was kind of. I don't know. I wasn't as early as Peak Prosperity, Jim Martinson, but once I started looking into it, it's like, holy shit, this is a thing, and it's going to affect global warming. I'm sorry, it has to do with the environment and everything else. Don't diss poor and lots of lonely people. I'm not dissing it. If it makes you happy, go for it. I don't care. Whatever you do, you man.
Dramatic is saying that Quebec is talking about banning 70 years old and over from being in public, which is basically martial law.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of is, but it is. I mean, if
It's
they want to
increment-
take the
it's
chance,
incremental.
I think they should have the right to take that chance. You know what I mean?
Well,
If it's worth
yeah.
it to them to be out, it's not going to affect the younger people. If they want to self-isolate, if they have the information and understand the danger, and they still decide to go out in public, I think they have the right to do that.
Yeah.
Personally,
Well,
I think.
Italy's doing triage with people,
Yeah.
older people
Yep.
now. They're
Yeah.
figuring out who's going to live and who's going to die, and it's not, just COVID. If they've got that, it's the other things that they've been dealing with. So it's really shitty.
Yeah, coronavirus closes school for nearly 30 million children in the U.S. All of Utah schools are closed. They're closed as of today. So it's happening. I mean, that's pretty
Hey,
big.
hey,
And then places in Utah, bars and restaurants and gyms have been closed in Utah as well. So um, Utah may be like considered a rural area, but it's really where the cities are. They're fucking cities and really connected. Um, where I'm at, there's still all the Mormons that go in and out of other places and carry diseases and crap. But they closed all the churches. That's the other thing I didn't mention. All the churches. I said they're gonna spread it through church. They shut down. The Mormon Church shut
yep.
down all church services. All of them. The Catholic Church, all church services shut down. Done.
Wow.
Done.
You'd think that their faith would protect them somehow.
I know. Like, isn't
Not
praying
working.
going to help you?
Wouldn't
I was
God
hoping they would stay in
prevent it from
church,
spreading?
right?
Isn't that sparkly underwear they wear? Or is that a different
Yeah,
one?
magic underwear.
Yeah.
The guy from
Not
him is
working.
doing a great job
It's
keeping Trump awake. Oh,
it's
hi,
hard to
Zog.
believe. It's hard to believe that a tiny, tiny, tiny microscopic virus is kicking our asses. Nobody's.
This is not what I expected. I'm
I
sorry.
wasn't
It was not.
expecting either.
It's not going
It's
to kill us all, though. Just
No, but
saying. It's just the
well,
beginning,
it's a little
Well-
microscopic Terminator.
right?
Little tiny.
The economic impact of it is
Oh, wow. Costa
bad,
Rica is
you know,
also shut
that's-
down. Jean says, hi, Jean, by the way. I don't think I said hi to you. Sorry. We got to read comments, too. This is partly us and partly them. The chat matters a lot to me. I'm sorry, guys. I don't
Of
mean to
course.
interrupt. I hate interrupting you guys, but
No,
once in a while we got to read the chat. It's important to me.
read away.
Zoc said porn is very sophisticated these days. So
Thanks,
that
Socks.
was Zoc.
Very important. I don't know if he has a Jesuit agenda. I don't get sucked into that. Oh, okay. I don't know it. Martyrdom, really? You and your Jesuit stuff. I
the
don't
Pope
get into
walked around.
religious stuff.
The Pope walked around the block. As kind of a, thing. I don't know if you saw
Symbolic.
that.
Really?
He walked around the block. A certain area in Rome. Something to do with the last Black Death, bubonic plague. That the Pope would walk around this certain block in the Rome, where he's at.
Right. Nature Bad Slash says Guy McPherson. Okay, wait. Anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, Nature Bad Slash says Guy McPherson. I get it right now. Definitely. I mean, and I hope that's what's happening. I hope it's just I really would like to believe it's nature fighting. But however, there are all kinds of other theories, hypotheses going around, and holy shit, there's so many, and some of them make a little bit of a sense, and
Do you
some
want
of them don't.
to talk about the myths about coronavirus? Like
Sure,
myth,
sure.
bleach and silver solution and garlic can protect you from coronavirus. That's a myth. Taking a
Total
hot
myth.
Oh man, I just ordered some from Jim Baker's website.
Ah.
You're telling me it
There
doesn't
you go.
work?
There you go.
What about Alex
Oh,
Jones
my God.
toothpaste?
Here's another myth. Taking a hot bath will protect you against coronavirus. Changing a temperature can kill coronavirus. These are myths.
Oh
Uh,
God.
A face mask. This is an interesting one. A face mask can protect you against coronavirus. I heard somebody today talking about
Depends on the face mask
Yeah,
and the
and
circumstances.
more to protect those around you than it is you because of
Right.
what's coming out of your pie hole.
Unless you have an N95 mask, which is really
Yeah.
hard to get your hands on.
Yeah, just two more of these myths. Ordering products from China can make you sick.
Takes
I
too
don't.
long to get here.
Yeah, the carrier. I don't know how the carrier works. I think they're still working on that. There's a coronavirus vaccine out there. That's a myth. And the last one is that was it. So there's 7 myths that we're pretty sure are accurate myths. So
Well, here's an 8th one for you. Politicians are going to help solve this problem.
oh my God, that's an ongoing thing. Yeah.
They don't help solve anything. Hi,
Nope.
Ecos. Ecos was mentioning something interesting about the coronavirus has started in Iran. That's one of the theories going around in October. And there's some people saying it started in the US. There's some people saying that Israel has done it, which actually would not surprise me. I'm sorry, but think about their whole situation. They could get rid of the whole Palestinian problem with a virus like this.
Yeah, if
Because
they had the antidote, if they don't, but if you
yeah, if
don't,
they don't get it
if it
themselves. But
affects their people,
how many people in Israel have got it? I haven't looked at those numbers.
that's one of the things in World
Yeah.
War One. They were using chemical warfare gas, and they found out the gas didn't work because the wind would blow it back.
Yeah,
It
the
says
Your own
drink every
troops.
15th minute. Okay. Keith
No,
Haynes,
no,
does Paul have more than
he's
just
right
three
about that.
videos up? Yeah, he has lots of videos. Paul does lots of videos. So, I don't know. Okay, sorry, I'm reading the comments because that's what I do.
Who's going to benefit the most from this virus? I'll tell you
Who?
Mother Earth.
Yes,
That's who's going
I
to benefit the
agree.
most.
I
Yeah.
agree.
You
There's
can
that's
Getting
the
rid
other
of
one.
a
The pharmaceutical company. That's another one. So I just want you to just put it out like a country or a business, corporate, oligarchy, whatever that you think is responsible for this, or if you think it's Mother Nature that's just fighting back. I just want to do a poll for all of you in the chat. Just shout out if you think it's Iran, if you think it's Israel, if you
a
think it's
bioweapons
the US, if you think it's China, if you think it's North Korea. I mean, there's
You're talking
all
about
these things. I
you're
just want
talking
to
about
know. I want to
bioweapons.
know what. Yeah, I want to know if you think it's a bioweapon or natural. If you think it's a bioweapon, who did it?
I say natural.
I'm just taking. I think it's. I think
I
it's
vote
natural,
natural.
but I would not doubt if one of these countries did it because whatever. Val
Okay,
says now.
put
Okay, come on,
what you
guys.
think down
Yeah.
there in the
Hey,
comments.
Tantina. Antina's here. Hi.
So put down if you think it's natural or
Oh,
a
Basil's here
bioweapon.
too. Okay, I want everyone to do the bioweapon, natural, and if you think it's a bioweapon, which country is
See,
responsible? Or if you think it came from bats from China, I don't know. Whatever.
I think it's those wet markets in China where everything's stacked. If it isn't, that's possibly was an area where somebody got it and used it as a bioweapon. Possibly.
But the
I mean,
first people to get it had no connection with that open market.
that's what I
Mhm.
hear. But it makes sense that something could possibly evolve from that mess. You know, it's like a toilet
Yeah,
bowl
it is kind of
that's
like a
stirring. So
toilet bowl.
yeah, I'll go with
Global
that.
Ponzi is about to
I have
collapse and
two minds on
COVID-19
it
is a
myself.
scapegoat.
Yeah.
Says TRC. Hi, TRC, by the way. Um,
I think we'll
his
go
weapon.
by
Who's
price.
his?
Yeah.
Put your votes down. Okay, that's you.
Bioweapon or natural.
Jay Ackard, hello. Haven't seen you. Okay, Human's here too. And
Bio says he's a bioweapon, or they're a bio.
anyone see local
okay,
business do
one,
mass layoffs or shutting their doors?
two,
There's some starting to lay off people. I know that.
Yeah,
Let's
then
see.
what do those people do? They're gonna get more desperate and desperate if you don't have a stable job, or like this is. Can you argue that the crime rate and famine
yeah.
maybe like
Natural
if
site
there's
shows
more
this to be so.
desperation
Okay.
Yep.
if the government doesn't step
Right.
in, which
Right. You're
yeah,
right.
okay.
Alex. Yep. Yep. You're
Okay,
right.
Jane says natural. I want to believe it's natural. That's
I'm
what I
counting it on
really
my
want to
fingers.
believe. It's natural. It's nature fighting back. That's what I want to believe. So that I'm more sorry.
Now you got the other one.
I am so like wanting nature to be fighting back. I'm rooting for nature to be fighting
Me
back.
too.
But at the same time, I don't want to see humans suffering because there's some humans I actually like. Not that many. I like all of you guys, but there's not too many other humans I like other than you guys.
Yeah, but Mother Nature has given us all kinds of chances to straighten things out. We didn't do it.
Yeah,
So it finally had to do the make it the hard way. It's doing the hard way. I'm counting more people.
Drink some water, Chris. Drink something, Chris.
Yeah, drink something. Vegematic says it's nature's immune system. I would just change that up and say it's nature's antibody system.
Yeah. If you were going to call
yes, Anthony, that was my theory. Sorry, Anthony agrees with my original theory, so I'm feeling good.
I
Thanks,
counted
Stephanie.
more people. I counted more people on here say bioweapon than natural, but you know, um,
Oh, it's a mixed crowd.
It is a mixed
yeah.
crowd, but nobody knows the facts because our government lies to us. We
All
don't
the
know.
time.
Yeah, we still don't have any idea really about the Kennedy assassination. I mean, good luck with any of this.
Yeah. Hi,
You know
Keith
what I mean?
Hayes. Welcome. You're obviously new because you don't have a wrench.
Maybe here's one for Val. Maybe this is the space aliens coming back and unseating the planet that they originally seeded.
Yeah. Well,
Could be.
That's a good
Could be.
point. Maybe
This could all be a simulation too.
Yeah,
But
failed experiment.
I think we're living in a matrix right now because it is freaking nuts. It can't be.
well, if you're
Coco,
thinking,
knock
I
if
hope
you're
so.
down,
thinking
Then
that
I
Peppercorn.
can
this is
just then I can just chalk it up to bad,
Yeah.
Karma?
That's
being a
funny.
bad.
bad
That was
karma.
hilarious. By the way, hi Daniel Collenmeyer. Definitely a wake up call. I hope. I mean, but it's a little late for a wake up call. What do you think? I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
God.
Pack your
Population
shit, folks.
control. Yeah, but it's not controlling the population as fast as it. I mean, when you think about how many deaths there are so far, what is it up to? Like 5,000 something?
Yeah,
Actually,
but
it's
Christine, it's like
7,000 now.
it's like a
Is it 7?
7,100.
Okay, now it's going exponential.
It's
right.
just like,
It's like a
But
tsunami.
will it
yeah.
get to 250,000 a day that we're adding to
Easily,
our population, you think?
easily,
know.
worldwide, easily.
Maybe.
Joy's
It's
got a
gone up
real
A
plan.
day? A day? Because
Haven't
that's
you
what our population
haven't you
is
seen
growing. A day
haven't you
is
seen Chris Martinson?
250,000.
Chris Martinson showed this video of geometric progression where he had these little dots and they
Oh
let
yeah,
the
I
order
saw that. Yeah, I've seen that.
and at some point all the dots were infected. That's what they're saying. They're saying they said early on that 40 to 70% of humans will eventually be infected.
Yeah, but it's only 20% tops or even have to go to the hospital for it.
You have is secondary effects. Like I said earlier, you have
And then
people
once you
throwing,
have it, you're good.
you're that they're saying that too.
80% of the
Those may be
population
the
will be just
survivors.
fine.
Yeah.
80% of the
what happens?
population is going to be just fine.
But what happens when the food runs out and
Well, that's
people?
another issue altogether.
That's what I'm saying.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Chris? This could end up being like, here's the Val again, the Andromeda strain, and the top 10 movie of the Netflix this week is Outbreak. So everybody's freaked out.
I know
So-
everyone's freaked out, and the food issue might become an issue. That'd be a secondary effect.
And you're talking about population increase, Chris. I mean, what about all these birthing centers and the hospitals once those babies start picking it up? What's going to happen there? When are we?
They had a case.
So far,
they had
children aren't
a case,
too
they had a case-
affected, but they can be.
they had a case, guys, where a woman who had COVID gave birth.
And the
then-
baby was fine.
No, I think they said the baby was infected. No, maybe
No,
you're right.
the baby was fine.
Okay, yeah. So they had that situation.
So it doesn't affect it could be a designer virus if you really want to get conspiratorial. You could
Yeah,
say
it
it was
is
a designer virus to kill off the older population in order to save Social Security and all that. That is another theory. There's so many theories
I
going
need to go
out.
get my tinfoil hat.
Okay, go get
I'll
your
be right
tinfoil hat. I know. I'm sorry.
my gosh.
Not that I believe in any of these. I don't know what to believe because our government lies to us. So I don't know what to believe.
Better yet, I'll get my They Live sunglasses. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a movie called They Live.
Roddy Piper.
Yes. Since I kind of feel like this is getting more and more like end times, like anyway, by the second. I do want to like.
Out there. I'm not saying I believe in any of these theories. I'm just
No,
saying those
no.
theories
I know.
are there.
I know. I just wanted to make sure we set a little time aside in our chat to like recommend like things to other people that maybe enrich the whatever time we all have left here. And that would be my recommendation for this week is They Live. If you haven't seen that movie, you should definitely check it out. It's a movie that came out in the early 80s, but it got more and more appropriate as time went on. It's a metaphor for the state we're living in essentially right now in America, for sure.
Social.
I think
social
I
commentary.
think a good thing to do to recommend to people, since they're telling people to shelter in place, is more live
Right.
streams where people
Oh,
can get on more live streams
Hi, the
That
dude.
too.
Dude,
and you
I'm
can
sorry, the dude.
socialize, because they're telling you to isolate. And when you isolate, man, you start going loony, cabin fever.
Oh, I
And
would
so-
not do that. I'd be so happy.
Yeah, but you still, you're an empath. You want to empath with people.
I want to hang out and garden and play with my horses and my dogs and
You're gonna
my
yes,
rabbits and my
yeah.
geese and
but-
I
but
want to
you
just
wanna
be home.
empath with us,
And
right?
guess what? My wish came true.
Yeah, it sure did.
Well, the one thing that my wife and I don't go out much anyway, but the one thing we really like to do is karaoke. So
Oh, I
we're
used to
thinking
do
of
that all the time. It's so much fun.
yeah, so we're thinking of just doing it in our house now, and then like we might upload the videos to YouTube also. My wife's a really excellent singer, but
I'm not,
Um,
but I still do
I
it.
also music wise, do any of you guys, because music is I think that's one of the very few things humans did right. You know what I mean? Like that, what an invention, you know, like how it can touch
Yes.
so many people in so many different ways, and it's invisible, you know.
I agree.
Um,
I could use a little help
so-
from my friends. Is like one of the songs I listened to this weekend is like not the Beatles one, but the one that the other people, another
Right.
guy did.
Joe
I
Cocker.
don't know music, but
Joe Cocker.
yes, that one is
Yeah.
such a good version of it. I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool, and it's
Yeah,
so like
powerful,
it
right?
makes you feel it like deep down. It's so good.
So my music recommendation for this week to everybody would be if you haven't heard of Steely Dan,
I've kind
go
of heard
listen
of
to some Steely Dan. That will put you guys.
You know what? Maybe that should be
that'll
a
help carry you
feature.
through this shit.
Musical recommendations to help us through this shit should be a
Steely
regular
Dan,
thing we do every
Steely
day,
Dan,
every
yeah.
show. This is our recommendation for that's Pat. I love you. That's a perfect
Yeah,
idea.
Pat, you're right on. That's what, after they stuffed us on Super Tuesday, I started listening to music.
Yeah, or the Steely Dan and the Allman Brothers would be my second.
Allman Brothers are great.
Can't go wrong with either
I
one
actually
of them.
met the manager of the Allman Brothers one.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, that was interesting. Okay, I'm gonna take a little break, so I'm gonna let you guys have it. Okay, no silence.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Pressure's on.
I just
I'll
need
start
to
off
take a
with,
break. It's already been an hour, but this is so much to talk about. So I don't want to end it, but I just want to take a. Please let me just take a little break.
You do it.
I'll start
take a
off with
break.
the viral loading thing, okay? Off of Chris Martinson, the viral loading.
Oh,
Viral
yeah,
loading?
talk about the viral. That's cool. Just make sure to give everyone a chance to talk, Val. You know how you
I
get
will.
sometimes.
I will.
I love you,
Well-
but you know how you get.
I know.
All right.
I know. They get a bit stir crazy in these loony times. This is kind of like
Okay, when
20 years.
Oz puts his finger up,
Yeah.
he's gonna replace me. He'll put his finger up when you're
Okay.
going a little too long or something.
Okay.
Okay. Not that finger. Not that finger, Oz.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
Oz is taking over for me. Okay, I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, I'm wondering. I'm wondering how long it'll be before people will start going stir crazy when they're self-isolating.
I'm not. That shit doesn't bother me. I just.
Really?
Yeah, not really.
But,
I was in it.
How long have you gone, Pat? How long have you gone? By yourself?
That's a good question.
I
don't know, but I don't know. I've been out when I was in the Navy. I was on an aircraft carrier, and we were out at sea for like a couple months one time during workup. So that's not exactly isolation, but you're kind of, you know what I mean. You're limited in what you can do. You know? So,
That's why I was telling her, telling Christine that, the more of these live things that we can do, it really helps.
that's yeah.
Because they're telling us to isolate, and and humans are not used to being isolated. Humans want to socialize. And
it doesn't. After a while, it does make you start. That's why when they throw people in isolation in prison, that's why it just breaks them. Because
it totally breaks you.
We're social animals, so there is some. I can be by myself for quite a long time and amuse myself, for a certain amount. But you do start feeling it after a while. Yeah.
After a while, you start
Sure.
feeling it, and I think
Mhm.
that it's going to be necessary to do more online things, more online communities. It helps me.
Yeah, for sure.
You know,
Yeah.
that-
Yeah, this is definitely like a therapy session.
Yeah,
Sort of.
and the other thing is online we don't have to put on mask or gloves or, I know I already freaked out some people going to Target with my gear, and
Don't, yeah, forget them. It's your health.
well,
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I don't have a problem with it, but I can tell by looking at people when people walk by and they don't look in your eyes, that's a sign, okay, that they're a little freaked out by you.
Be honest, Val, that happens with or without the gear, right?
Yeah, but there's a certain look. I can tell if you've been in the Navy or whatever in military combat situations.
Yeah.
When people, they tell you, don't lock eyes. Do not lock eyes with somebody, in that situation. But that's a kind of negative thing. I'm trying to think of something positive in the sense of community, of socializing.
Yeah, no, it's a great idea for sure. But what format are you, or how are you planning to structure that? Or-
Any possibility that people can go online and communicate,
Mhm.
whatever forum, Facebook, I think Christine is offering a great service, and the other people, the Head in the Box people, Sandy Shellis, I think that it would really help people to do it even more, to do this sort of format even more often, so that people can share and feel like that they're in a community.
Yeah.
Whitney,
Gotcha.
Whitney, what do you think the long-term effects are going to be, and after this thing settles down a little bit, and how soon do you think they're going to get some kind of a handle on it? To me, right now, it's like a train running off the tracks.
Pretty
So
much.
that would be, what do you think?
So long-term effects, like I said earlier, I think we might be headed towards like a global depression. I mean, they're saying recession, but if they're shutting down things for months, bars, restaurants, if they're not going to help the people out, right? If they're not going to give a UBI, that scenario, I'm going to argue a global depression globally. So that's pretty severe. I mean, the only thing we can compare that to is 1930s, like, right, the Depression era. But I like Christine
Well,
said, like,
the fact is the elites, they live in a different world than us. So they, like, I'm wondering if they're even having those discussions at those upper levels, like time to head to the bunkers, like just let it, because that could happen, you know what I mean? That sort of scenario too. So that's worrisome, but
yeah, a little bit.
but that's what they do. They're milking the system until it can't be milked anymore. There's no restraint on their part. So they will run it into the ground, but make no mistake, they'll be the first to take off when the shit really hits the fan. So we'll be left to our own devices at some point if it got too bad.
But we kind of are right now already, right? Like,
it feels like it, because I don't feel like it. I don't have any faith in any of these, because I know they don't give a shit about us whatsoever. So there's no incentive for them to help us at all.
Yeah.
So
they've shown that they know they can get away with pretty much anything.
Isn't it dangerous to not feed the masses? And we're looking at it, we've been talking about it from an entertainment standpoint, so that we're locked down. But when food supplies, food chains are getting hampered the way they are, I mean, somebody is saying today, and I kind of disagree with them in a sense, that, well, we have toilet paper manufactured in this country. Well, yes, but where do our paper cups come from? I mean, these are luxury items that they're not sustainable. items. But when
Yeah.
our actual food, our consumption, we can't feed this whole country on our what we used to they call the breadbasket because of everything and above. And I know Christine would just go off on that, completely. So what do you guys think about that? They're going to have to keep feeding us, otherwise the guillotines are going to come out, right?
Well, but they
Yeah.
have the contingencies for that in place already. I'm telling you, the very, very elite have secure, luxury bunkers built all over. I'm sure there's one for all the government officials.
Sure.
I'm sure it's nuclear powered and can last for 100 years.
Yeah.
So there's, what I mean? Like,
That's going to be dome living, though.
I'm just hoping that some
Yeah.
smart, because I'm just hoping that, I don't know. I'm just hoping it gets better somehow at this point, because I really don't have any faith.
Well,
that
well, there
anybody
is the possibility.
doing it.
Yes, there is a small possibility that the virus, for whatever reason, could mutate to a weaker strain. There's a small possibility for that. Nobody's
That's true.
sure.
Sorry, that's true.
That there
Yeah.
could be but there's also the possibility that it could go to a worse strain.
Well, it's an economic,
true.
because so many of us are just economically right on the edge, and it's like the food chain. It's the just-in-time delivery system. We're living paycheck to paycheck too. So any disruption in that becomes a real problem.
Yeah,
It's-
and go ahead. Go ahead, Val.
Well, I want to mention one quick thing here, kind of a non sequitur. On this Chris Martenson video, they had a MD, former chief medical officer and former investigator at CDC, and he was talking about viral loading. Okay, and what that has to do with is that you can take a large amount of virus, millions of virus in a load. It's called inoculum. And if that goes into your lungs, it'll quickly infect and make you sick. And if you take a smaller load, okay, then it gives more time for your system to respond to the infection. Okay, so so basically a way to look at it is, for example, let's say you went and somebody coughed or spit, whatever, and you put your hands in it. Well, if you immediately wash your hands, you'll probably have a lower viral load. Now, this guy didn't say this, but I've also heard this, that people say to drink more fluids, that if there's some virus in your mouth, that it'll wash the virus into your stomach.
Yes.
And the gastric acids will kill the virus. The
Correct.
virus, now I also want to mention the virus isn't Superman. It's easily deactivated just by.
It has a low mortality rate. Right.
It has a low mortality rate. And that's why it's such a bad virus, because it doesn't kill everybody. If it killed everybody, it would burn out quickly.
Right.
So it has the combination low mortality and high contagion and high incubation. Yeah. So, it's kicking our ass.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's kind of curious is here we are with 21st century science, and they're talking about, Elon Musk, electric car, going to Mars, blah, blah, blah. But we got nothing for this. We got that's all we got. And
That's a good point.
The government, they're telling us, isolate. You got to isolate. I mean, that's what they did in the Middle Ages. We haven't got much more than what the Middle Ages has.
Yeah, I've been thinking about the Middle Ages lately, and
We don't even have a way to detect it. I got
technology does not equal wisdom.
right.
Yes,
And this
cyberpunk.
our technology is like not much better than the Spanish flu, 1918. They isolated. They wore some face mask, but we can't see it. No way to detect it. The only thing they can do is do these reagent tests and send them in and see, try to figure out how much the virus has spread. Now, I want to ask you, Pat, you plan on isolating, man? Staying in your apartment?
Be right back,
Yeah.
guys. Hold on.
And,
Yeah.
you know, I imagine, you know, what are you going to do if a friend comes over? That's what I'm kind of worried about. Are you going to tell them to go away?
No, I don't think I have those type of friends that are like gonna come over unannounced. And anyway, I mean, I'm not really that situation doesn't really apply to me.
I have like a glass storm
I'm
door.
saying I have no friends, Val.
Right. I guess in a way we're going to have to order our life and our priorities. And I guess one priority is to stay alive.
Right.
That's one priority.
Check.
But then again, you know, the need to socialize is so ingrained that it's just going to push some people, including myself, to get out of the freaking house.
When do you think
I'm
the
lucky?
data-
I'm lucky. I'm married because you know I enjoy my wife's company, and we have 2 cats that we love, and
Yeah,
it's
it's great.
a nice environment, you know. Anyway,
I'm
When-
lucky here
feel
too.
lucky.
We have a big property. We have almost 2 acres, so and all the animals to interact with and all that. So I don't and we have this. And also I can engage with my children and all that on this kind of a face-to-face kind of thing. So I'm good.
Uh,
But isn't this what we all hope for? I'm sorry, but like way back, it's like we want to break the system. If anything's going to break the system, this might break the system.
This is.
And
But there,
as
It was going to be
horrible as
broken
it
at
is,
some point. I mean,
yes,
it doesn't. You don't have to be that intelligent, really, to just look around. And again, let me paraphrase George Carlin and realize something is fucked up here.
mhm.
You know, like I mean, you know, look, I mean, so it could not continue. I mean, we could not continue the way we're going. But it was clear that the people in charge were going to just keep driving it no matter what.
Yeah, it's not
towards
so
the
much
cliff.
that
So
you're right, Pat. You're absolutely right. And this is my thinking, and this is why it's this topic. And I know there's been some criticism from other areas in the Doomosphere about covering the coronavirus, but I think it has everything to do with global warming. I think it has everything to do with just
yeah,
nature,
it's just the
letting
end result.
nature.
It's just the end result of us being at large a bunch of fucking idiots.
Yes. Yes, and it's not, I mean, the coronavirus on its own is not, if we didn't have any other problems, if we didn't have any other problems, the coronavirus on its own would not destroy the human race. However, we've become so dependent on technologies and we've become so dependent on the transportation systems, the supply systems, monoculture farming, all this crap that humans developed. We've been so dependent on it. I
And
think,
look at the behavior that led to the giants of industry. You know, that like led to that. You know, like Edison electrocuted a fucking elephant. You know, to undermine Nikola Tesla. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Henry Ford. You know, a completely abusive asshole.
Right. But
You
either
know,
way, even if
Steve
Tesla,
Jobs was a massive prick. You
oh
know what I
yeah,
mean?
absolutely.
Like these are, you know, but those are people that are looked up to and admired. You know, some people look up to and admire to Donald Trump as and to me, he's just the embodiment of all of that
of all that's
Wall
bad,
Street crap. You know what I
But
mean? Like, I mean, America sort of deserves him in a way. You know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I've been saying that forever. If the world is going to come collapsing down, what better icon do
Well,
you have?
he's the perfect example of our
What would
worst,
come to?
all of our worst instincts as people, you
I've
know,
said
as a
that,
country.
and I know I've gotten shit for it, but I've said that it's like I want to see Trump be the leader that is in place when everything comes crashing down, because that.
Yeah, if there isn't like a bigger like signal
Mhm.
that we just royally fuck the pooch,
Yeah,
I mean,
but on the
that
other
guy
hand,
managed to get himself elected president.
but
I
on the
mean,
other hand, I'm
see you later,
conflicted.
man. I'm out of here.
I
I
am
mean,
conflicted, and
fine.
I love life, and I think that people need to be humane and nice to each other, and I want people to be treated well. I hate looking at suffering. Suffering bothers me a lot. Human suffering bothers me. I'm not a big fan of humans, but human suffering still bothers me. Animal suffering bothers me a lot. And
Yeah.
humans cause the animal suffering, they cause the planetary suffering, they cause all of that.
Yeah,
So,
if sorry, real quick, Chris, if the suffering of the animals, if the virus did come from the wet markets, right? I saw some imagery, I think, on some, the British is funny because like
then it's karma.
yeah, like the wet markets and like they have all these exotic and beautiful animals and they're just killing them
I
right
know.
next to each other. And it's
I
like if
know.
that's not Mother Nature coming back,
Yeah,
because
it's karma. If it came
yeah,
from that, that's what I want to believe it is.
right,
There's
right.
Okay,
all kinds
Well,
of other theories.
bacteria builds up on dead animals very quickly. You know what I mean?
Right.
God knows. I mean, I'm familiar with like safety procedures when it applies to like the United States because I cooked for a lot of years, but so I know all about cross contamination and all that stuff,
Mhm.
and safely storing meats and things like that. And if you don't have that kind of thought process, things could get tainted very quickly.
Mhm.
I think what Christine is looking at is that there's two ways to look at it. There's the philosophical, that Mother Earth must do this to restore balance, and realize that there's going to be a ton of suffering. In the personal viewpoint, this sucks, man. This really sucks. Okay, but so you can hold
Val, that is awesome. Thank you.
so you
Yes,
can hold these two viewpoints at the same time,
you can.
and realize that Mother Earth is doing what's necessary. At the same
Because
time,
humans
go
wouldn't do what was
right,
necessary.
right.
They would
That's the
not
way
do
I look
it
at it.
in a very organized way. Humans could if
She
they
gave
were
us the
wise.
opportunity,
The humans are
right?
very smart and everything,
And
but they're
you,
not very wise.
right?
They could have seen this coming if they
If
were
we listen to
wise.
people like you, what you've been
Mm,
trying to do for the last year, trying to tell people, change your ways. Shit's coming. Change your ways now. Do it voluntarily. Don't
all
let
you can really do is just brace for it as best you can, man, because it's
yeah.
coming
It
one way or
is
the other.
coming, and I don't think there's much we can do about it now.
no.
But
There's
there's one side of me that's like, go, go
yeah.
nature, and then there's the other side like, fuck. And I think humans should be more kind to each other, and we should have universal health care, and people shouldn't be suffering. You have those two sides contradicting each other, and it's so hard. It's
It
so
is
hard.
hard, but you can definitely hold those two viewpoints. You
I
can
think you
hold
can.
that,
I
that the
think you
Mother Earth is
can.
doing what's necessary for Gaia, and at the same time go, man, this is the worst
This
time
is
I've ever
stupid,
been.
but we did it to ourselves. We did it to ourselves.
And we can also hope that maybe there's a possibility that after a good deal of suffering, that there may be some resolution to the earth.
I'm holding that hope out.
Yeah,
Book Hermit is here, and Book Hermit says there's hope. That there's gonna be some resemblance of our species, surviving. Um,
or at least a better earth sometime in the future. Maybe
I would like to think
if,
that.
if
I
we,
mean, I don't. I want a better human species, a wiser human species to survive. I think that would be great. One that could work in harmony with nature, not against it, not conquering nature. I hate that term. Got to conquer nature. I hate that. Nature was not meant to be conquered. It was meant to be worked with, in harmony with, not against. And yeah, nature can be ugly, but if you don't understand, I've been raised with animals my entire life. I've dealt with death. I've dealt with life. And if you don't know death, you don't know the greatness of life. You
right,
have to have those two juxtaposed positions to understand how great life is. You have to know how horrible death is. It's maybe a Buddhist kind of thing,
Yeah.
I'm not a Buddhist. Well, I'm more of a Zen Buddhist if I had to claim it, but that's a philosophy. It's not a religion. It's more of a philosophy that you have to know bad to know good, and you have to know heartache to know pleasure. Yeah, it goes back and forth. Um, and
Thanos.
that's where I'm at right now. I'm like, I've known great times. I've known the best times. Oh my God. I could show you I was going through some old stuff, well, that Ariel brought up, my daughter brought up, that was stored in the room. And my daughter Jerry Lynn did this big poster, and it's like a snapshot in time. It's like this was what was happening with all these pictures on it. With my old dogs that I had that have since passed away, and a couple horses that have since passed away. And it's like, God, but the memories that we had with those, and everything lives, everything dies. Um, but God, those times we had were fantastic. And
Right.
I wouldn't trade them for the world. I would not trade them for the world. And I got to iron it out because all the pictures has been folded up, and I'm going to iron it out. I'm going to take a picture of it and I'll share it with you guys so you can kind of see this snapshot in my life. And it was like 2009, I think, is when it was. And it has all the animals I had back then and everything. It was so fabulous. But that just made me believe even more that God, there's something here. Not God, like literally God. God with a small G, like fuck. Anyway, don't take me literally when I say God, okay?
Metaphorically.
Metaphorically. But yeah, it's when you see something like when you go back and you see like what you've been through, it's like, God, I had some good times. I had great times. I've lived. I've done things people could only dream of doing, in some worlds, in some countries. And and at the same time, I wish I would live more simply, like some people who live more simply in other countries that didn't have everything I have.
Yeah, you
It,
grew up. I grew up enjoying, a great deal of privilege.
mhm.
I mean, we weren't rich, but my dad was in the military, and we were never really broke or anything like that. I've been out on my own. I've been broke, at various times. I've had a lot of money. Various times I've had no money. But overall, been very lucky with these living conditions. It's interesting. Um, I don't know how, if this is just getting older and seeing a lot of it's learning things on the internet and just sort of peeling away the veil of propaganda that you've been inundated with your whole life to realize the cost of this privilege. You know what I mean?
Right.
And
And
I
so
feel like
that's
I'd rather know it and than not know it. You know what I mean? Like know how bad it really, like how bad we really fucked
or
up,
or just being
and not know it, and then have some peace with it. Because it's it's truth, and that's the only real thing you can hold on to. Is it? Does that make
yes.
sense?
Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, I get you. But also just, the one thing maybe my privileged place makes me, I think that just living simply, because the more privilege you have, the more complicated your life gets. Does that make sense? And maybe if you just live
Yeah.
just to live simply, just would be amazing to me. Just gardening every day, just
Yeah, I mean, we had
and
the technology. We were developing technologies that would have allowed everybody to live an equitable, peaceful existence alongside of one another. We have the means to do. We have the
did
means to
before
do
we had
that,
this many
but it's
people.
just our
Uh,
instincts. Certain of our instincts, I would say, chiefly among them, greed. Um, ended up driving more of things than like better things like
Well,
compassion
well, look
and
at Octomom, man.
selflessness and things like that.
I
Look
Our
look at
values,
Octomom. That was so wrong. It's beyond wrong. It's
what do
just
you mean?
success. We went
I know. Being
and
successful just for
and
having children and
right,
making tons of money just for having children. There's
right.
something so wrong with that.
And I thought
So
the way
wrong with and
it,
just cheating nature by
yeah,
having that test tube babies is
Yeah.
cheating
8
nature.
babies.
I feel like I cheated nature because I was supposed to die with my first child. If we didn't have the technology, I would have died. My son would have died during childbirth. It would have happened. And I feel like I've cheated nature, and you know, the earth is suffering because of all of our technology. There's too many people fighting for too little resources,
Right.
and destroying
And
the planet in the meantime.
and
So
you're seeing with all this run on the grocery stores and everything else how much of a motivation fear is in our thinking still, you know.
and of all the things to fight over, toilet paper. What did people do before toilet paper?
Gold, silver, stuff like the new speculative bubble. At one time, it was
What?
tulips.
Us? Yeah.
Corn cobs.
Fingers.
Fingers? Oh,
Leaves.
gross. No,
Hey,
but
hey,
I looked it up. I actually looked it up. There's several plants that people used to use. One of them is grape
Sure.
leaves,
Sure.
which in the summer we have ton. In the winter, if there's actual snow, which hasn't happened for, like, to have snow on the ground for any length of time is ridiculous now. I mean, we used to have it on the ground for months at a time. Now we don't have snow on the ground for, more than a day or two. But snow used to be a thing. But grape leaves, and there's several other plants, look it up, that people used to use as toilet paper. People used to be creative and use what was available, but there's too many people to do that now. There's too many. I mean, there's no one in the city that can do that.
No.
It's
Mm.
just it is it won't work. Like, there's just too many people on the planet to live naturally in harmony with nature at this moment. And I hate to keep bringing in population, but I'm sorry, it's a fact. There's too many people on the planet, and it's not my fault. Don't shoot me. Don't. I mean, like, my daughter got so mad when I was telling her about what was going on with this virus, and I told her weeks ago what was happening. And then when it started to come crashing down, she actually got mad at me for a little while. She was
Really?
mad at me because she didn't want me to talk about how there was, closures were starting to happen and this and that. And she's like, but I have my school. I just got a new job and quit another job, and all this is happening. I can't,
shit
you
happens.
know, and she's just struggling with it so
Yeah.
hard. She's struggling with it, and I feel so bad. But it's like, I just want you to be prepared. I don't want it to surprise you. I
Yeah,
don't want.
I think another thing that Chris Martenson was talking about was that for many people, what you were just talking about, people not being able to accept it. And unfortunately, the government has been doing the same thing as kind of baby stepping it,
Mhm.
baby step, not dropping,
They should have called it a pandemic a long time ago,
they should have,
and
but
that would have kicked all the countries into gear. And yeah, it would have been a shock at first,
did
but
you
then
see,
everyone would have kicked into gear. But at the same time, that would have saved a lot of lives, and then the population would, and then
They
we
do
would just,
not
we're
care.
just stretching out
hey,
the inevitable.
hey,
Sorry.
Yep.
look at it this way. We're in an adventure now.
It is
We're,
kind of an adventure, but I feel sorry for the kids my daughter's age and Whitney's age. I it has to be really hard to deal with.
well,
This
well,
is just the beginning. Just the beginning of what's happening.
well, tell
There was eventually going to have to be a generation that saw this.
yeah,
Hey, you guys are seeing it too, so.
I know. But we got to get going, guys, soon. So
Okay.
we had an incredible conversation. Did I miss any topics that anyone really wanted to talk about? Okay, Oz is raising his hand.
Yes. I want to have a since you've been talking about conspiracy theories.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to
No, hypothesis.
hypothesis. I just wanted to have an entertaining sidebar here. Something came out today with a TV station broadcasting the results of tomorrow's election.
Oh, what?
Yeah, the results of the
They
election
did
tomorrow.
that last time.
Yeah, on The Price is Right, and they showed it was like 55% Biden, 45% Bernie, and they declared Biden the winner. And I think it was, what was it? It was
And it wasn't supposed to air, right?
Right.
They did that before. See, I told you it was going to happen. They were going to
No, but
cheat fucking
this
Bernie.
one's really good. So let me read you the excuse to what the TV station said. It's called, and this is ironic too. It's called WCIA 3.
Ah, that's ironic.
And that's in Ohio. That's in
Yeah.
Ohio. I'm looking at this. I'm thinking, is this a
What?
damn onion thing here? But no, it's actually, it came on during The Price is Right, a commercial. And their excuse is, we do routine test rehearsals before every election to make sure the graphics work properly
Oh,
and to give some directors practice. The error was putting the dry run, the error was putting the dry run on the air. That shouldn't have happened, and we are looking into it. Obviously, we never intended to give the wrong information or wrong impression. None of those numbers were based on any real returns. Since your post is being widely shared, I'd appreciate it if you would consider updating the original post so people don't get the wrong idea.
ah! Oh my God.
Now that being said, I have a studio here. This is just a miniature CNN studio that I have. There is no way in holy hell when I do a graphic that it would be streamed live for a test. I test that on the base, on the platform. There is no need for me to test the live stream because we test the live stream to a wall, and that live stream hits the wall. In most cases it's YouTube, and YouTube sends me a ping back saying the signal is bad or good.
Yeah, the preview. So when you're previewing it.
Yeah, and here's the good part. Okay, I'm calling bullshit on that whole excuse, but
I call bullshit too.
here's the tinfoil conspiracy part. You think this is something. My point is I think maybe somebody at that TV station is trying to be a whistleblower and accidentally flip that damn switch so it would go out over the air because
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah, it's 3 stages. But here's one thing. I bet you $1 to a donut somebody loses their job over that. And you'll probably see this go
And probably
crazy.
not the person that had the bullshit.
Yeah, because this was just stupid and everybody's losing their crap. But what amazes me is how many people are buying this excuse that this TV station put out and not questioning, not using critical thinking and saying, well, wait a minute, So that's I just wanted to offer that to everybody here. I thought they'd get a kick out of it.
If you introduce critical thinking into the process, everything's really going to go to hell.
No one knows how to use critical. I mean, everyone here does. I love you guys because everyone here is smart and they use critical thinking skills.
I mean, John
you just got to shake your head at this shit at some point. Just
yeah,
but there's some sort of, wasn't there some sort of study about the more outrageous a lie you tell,
the more it's believable? Yeah,
more believable.
Yeah,
the more details you put into it and outrageous. Yeah,
that was
but what's
Nobles.
Yeah, what I guess I want to ending this whole thing that I brought up for your entertainment and mine is that why is like all the exit polls results done by Edison Research, which people are saying, well, this is the only place I see this. We need other verification. They're the only damn ones who do the exit polls in the country.
Yeah, because they stopped doing them in 2016 when they were so off and people were starting to question it. I mean, that's why there's only one place doing it, you fucking retard.
Right. They know
that was bad. I didn't say that.
They'll use any method of suppression that they can.
Why did this TV station set the graphic up so Biden wins? Exit poll. Biden wins every exit poll or loses every exit poll, that they take.
It's always towards one way. It's never back and forth wrong. It's always one direction wrong. That tells you
that's impossible. It's impossible. So
that's why the elections are screwed.
Yeah. Anyway, that was my gift to you.
Thank you, Oz. That happened in 2016. That's exactly what I expected in 2020. And that's why I didn't get invested in the election until the very end. And I feel stupid for getting invested in the very end. Okay, everyone read some comments because we got to get out of here. I don't have to work tomorrow, but people are partying in the barn and I'm missing out.
Oh no. Not quite sure how to read that statement.
Which one was that?
People are partying in the barn, and
The
I'm missing
barn.
out.
My barn. We have a barn out there, and no one's here. They're all out in the barn with the fire.
I like
Okay.
I like Michael
Barn.
Cooper's. Michael Cooper says Trump will run on UBI and universal health care. Mark my words.
He might, because he knows that would win.
Yeah, it might. I've heard that a couple of times today too.
It
Sorry.
could happen. I think.
You think
well,
we're gonna
Trump will
make it to
win.
November?
I don't. I think.
don't know.
I don't think so.
That's
I
the
think
other thing.
they're going to postpone the November election. You watch. They're going to
Okay.
postpone.
Oh yeah.
I know. Going south. Are you doing a thing, Torstein? Are you doing a thing after this? The shut internet will do this on ham radio. I have one of those.
I tell you what,
radios. I
man.
gotta figure out how
Whoever
to use it.
the ham radio people, man, they are always they can coordinate during anything, man.
Really?
they're
I talked to a
we
guy.
have one.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
inherited one. I
I'm
don't know
thinking
how
about
to use
going
it,
to. I'm
but
thinking about going to get one because this guy was telling me, man, during like the wildfires and stuff, sometimes they were the only means of like communication with things, and they ended up saving a lot of lives, man.
oh
Yeah,
yeah.
I was going to
Ham
buy
radio
one last
people.
year. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I just gotta
Good
figure
investment.
out. Val knows somebody who can teach people how to use it. Veg, aren't you guys so excited to see Veg back in the chat?
Yay, Veg.
I'm so happy. Sorry, he's been gone for a long time. He went through a hard time, so everyone send him your happy vibes and
No way to control it. It's totally Vegematic.
Dick.
There you
He's gonna start doing videos soon. So,
go.
and he said he's gonna come on next week.
Hey, Christine, can we finish with a video before you put on your outgo?
Sure, but read a couple more comments first.
Yeah, just let me know.
I am so excited. The dude came here. The dude, I always see him in other chats. Black Bear News for one. They'll shut down the ham repeaters too. Silly heads. Well,
Will they?
No, they
I
might.
hope not.
They might, but you can still bounce off the ionosphere.
They'll shut
Yeah.
down the internet before they shut down ham radio, I think.
Yeah, I mean
But who knows, man? They got EMPs and all sorts of
I
shit.
don't know.
I don't
Okay,
know.
If we
I
have to
guess
go, if we
Pink-
have to go up
that,
against the
Bye,
the
Pink.
repeaters
I
have
guess
gotta be
Pink's
powered.
going. Bye, Pink. Thanks for stopping by. We always love you.
Get you a cheap shortwave radio.
Yeah, okay, so Veg said he'll be on next week's stream. Yay. So I'll send you a link again via email. Okay. Let's see. Martyr Wi-Fi is 2.4 gigahertz and 5G is 60 gigahertz. Both are known toxic frequencies
yeah.
and seem to have been selected for a reason. It's to attack. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's pretty.
Well, that or just greedy again. Pursuit of money and technology. Money through new technology. Beating somebody else to the punch.
Exactly.
Possibly. I don't know. Yeah, I think whenever you think of like what's wrong with this picture, I would say like 99% of the time the answer is going to be money is involved.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. It's always 42. The answer is always 42. Anyway,
Yes.
Good God, what a day. Sleep well, friends, and tune into Black Bear News live stream tomorrow. Yes.
Yay.
Everyone here, I hope y'all watch Black Bear. I'm pretty sure y'all do. I'm pretty sure. Anyway, thank you, TRC. Barn, CCP partying, celebrating the pandemic. I'm just enjoying what I have while I can, and my barn
Exactly.
is my sacred space. I love the barn,
Cool.
the fire. We have this old woods. I can't talk. Wood stove that I grew up with, like my whole childhood. We had this wood stove, and now it's in my barn, and all the neighbors, they all bring us wood. Every time they're cleaning up brush and stuff, they bring us wood. So I'm burning it. I'm sorry, that's horrible for the environment, but not as bad as coal. So is what it is. Okay. Gotta ask my father where his radio is. Yeah, Zox, do that. Maybe we can keep in touch after everything goes to shit. Maybe. All right. Your guys' turn. Read some comments because we got to get out of here. We've almost, oh my God, an hour and 45 minutes. Shit.
Well, it's been so much fun.
Yeah.
I know. This is my therapy. I don't know what I'd do without you guys.
What do
I
you call
really
it?
don't.
Apocalypse therapy? Is that what
Yeah.
you're calling it?
They're there.
And we're going to need a lot of it in the coming days, I think. So I might be coming on more. We'll probably start
so.
Freaky
hope so.
Fridays again.
Yeah.
I wonder if we could do like a live karaoke thing.
Oh, sure.
like-
Why
Oh,
not?
fun.
That-
Why
Why
not?
not? I think that's
Although
great.
my voice sucks, you don't want to hear me sing.
Make sure you bring your wife in to do that, Pat. We want to hear her beautiful voice.
Oh yeah, man,
Would be
she's
great.
amazing.
I sing for fun, but I sing
Yeah.
better.
Hey,
Okay.
hey,
Me
me
too. I have
know.
one or two songs that I can sing really, really well, and
Yeah,
I've
me
gotten a
too.
lot more confidence as a singer.
I'll do my
Uh,
wedding singer routine.
There you go.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
I
all
bet
right.
you're good
Yeah.
at it.
It's
Oz.
fun. It's fun. Yeah, you never
It's-
really realized how much fun it could be. You know.
Yeah. So have a
But-
karaoke night Thursday, Chris, will you?
Yeah,
Karaoke
there
night
we go.
Thursday. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be
Okay.
fun. Let me
Let
know
me-
when you want me to fire this video up.
Oh yeah. Okay. Did everyone? Okay, guys. I love you all. Thanks, Keith, Book, Socks, Dude, Bio, Torstein, TRC, Val. You're here, so yeah, you know. Vegematic. Oh, I'm so excited to have you on next week. And Density McCarthy. Hello. Oh my gosh. I don't think you've been on here. Okay, you're moderating. Okay, you get a wrench because I know you.
Yeah, stay on YouTube, people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Density says, should I vote tomorrow? I don't think it'll do any good, but I would anyway. I don't know. That's just me. I did. Last minute. I wasn't going to, but I did anyway. Not that it mattered a fucking damn, but I did. Can deal. All right. I think everyone's headed out. So, Zox, thank you for coming, Zox. Jean, love you guys. Magical Thinking Barbie was here too. Oh my gosh. I missed you. Sorry, Magical Thinking Barbie.
That's a great name.
I know, right?
Love it. Love it. That's like magical.
I love it. I just gave her
My Pretty
a-
Pony. Pull the tail. Yeah.
I know. I'm just trying to see if I missed anybody. I probably did. All right. Adam Thomas. I did miss fracking drilling done too. Yeah. Oh my God. We didn't even talk about that. The gas price war and stuff like that. Like making fracking like totally screwed up. Anyway. All right, guys. You can play it now. Good night, guys. I love you all.
Okay, let me know if you hear the sound.
Be cool.
Are you sharing it?
I'm sharing it. Do you see anything?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
I do.
Turn the sound on, and here we go.
Hello, I'm from the government with an urgent message about the coronavirus. We know many of you are confused. Some say it's no big deal. Italians are freaking out. The Chinese are hiding out. And Aussies seem to think the virus attacks your butthole. Medical experts have coined a scientific term to describe the situation we're now facing, a shit show. It's important to note that the shit show isn't caused by the virus itself, which we can manage, but rather by dangerous levels of egregious dumbfuckery spreading about the virus. Through forensic analysis, experts have traced the path of the dumbfuckery back to this malignant shit funnel, who said he's not worried about corona since it's no worse than the flu. One of the symptoms of dumbfuckery includes not understanding simple math, leading many to laugh off this virus for only having a death rate of about 2%. Since experts say the US alone could have 96 million cases, 2% of that comes to approximately a lot of fucking dead people. Of course, the death rate is much higher among older people. This has been largely dismissed due to another symptom of dumbfuckery, not caring about the elderly, or as experts call it, being an asshole. If left unchecked, this shit show can drastically worsen the impact of coronavirus by overwhelming a country's healthcare services. For example, the US only has 1 million hospital beds. Oh, and face masks will probably run out too. So as doctors and nurses get infected, there could also be a shortage of them. When you combine all that with a government that has no regard for science, a vastly uninsured workforce without sick leave, and millions of guns, you get what experts call a munted shit show. To avoid a munted shit show in your country, experts are now advising governments worldwide to be the exact opposite of America. If you're not already infected by dumbfuckery, we ask you to spread this graph among your friends and family instead of bullshit memes. It shows how by flattening the contagion curve, we can slow down the spread of the virus so our hospitals and carers can cope. You can help flatten the curve by practicing hand hygiene, avoiding large gatherings, and phoning your doctor if you develop symptoms. Delaying the spread even by a month could prevent thousands of deaths, and not just corona deaths. It also means fewer deaths due to any emergencies requiring hospital care, which could mean you or your loved ones. And remember, if you do run out of toilet paper, Rupert Murdoch produces a wide range of bog roll replacements worldwide. This has been a message from your local government franchise. Goodbye. Authorized by the Department for Responding to Global Emergencies when they threaten the stock market.